from the campus of Bowling Green State University.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Steve Iwanek. Thank you for joining us. Today is October 27th. BGSU Dining is struggling to find enough employees to serve campus. Our Macey Austin spoke with one official who says COVID is a factor, but their struggle began years ago.
BGSU Dining is one of the largest student employers on campus, but they're struggling to find employees.
We're missing roughly about 15,000 people on campus, so that does have an impact on our ability to hire.
COVID has certainly been a factor in the shortage of dining employees.
What we're hearing from a lot of parents is they don't want their students to work. They would prefer them to be somewhat protected and isolated. While I have to say that I think dining services right now is one of the safest places to probably work within the community.
Some previous workers did not return to BG this year and remained at home taking the semester online.
So a large number of our students did not return to campus this year from prior year.
On the other hand, dining services has been struggling for the past 5 years.
More students as they enter campus are not really looking for the or need the financial support a part-time job could offer. Most what we're seeing are freshmen and sophomore want to focus on their studies.
BGSU Dining has a lot of benefits for their student workers.
Flexible schedules. We're looking at 4-hour shifts as a minimum. We don't differentiate pay rates based upon being a student. That's not right.
They also offer scholarships to their students.
Every year, BGSU Dining awards $10,000 in academic scholarships for our associates.
In places like the Union, menus have been consolidated to reduce lines, but also due to the staff shortage.
The downside of not being able to fill all of those shifts because our student population is so down on campus, it kind of made sense to consolidate those services where best we can so we could execute according to a student's needs.
You can apply for a BG dining job on dineoncampus.com or use the QR code on flyers around campus.
Even if your academic schedule right now doesn't work out in the fall, obviously we've only got a few more weeks left of the semester, but please check out dining when you come back into the spring. Again, we work with every single student, international students, doesn't matter. This is a great place to work and it's very easy and convenient to stay on campus.
Reporting for BG24 News, I'm Macey Austin.
The city of Bowling Green is planning their move into a new administration building. Our own Alex Holwerda has more.
After decades of dreaming, Bowling Green city officials are happy to announce that they are moving forward with plans for a new $11 million city administration building, which will be on the site of the current senior center along North Main Street. BG24 has spoken to Bowling Green Mayor Mike Aspacher on why he believes that now is the time to move forward with the project and how the city of Bowling Green can afford the new renovations.
It's important to know that the building, the municipal administration building, the building really is it's tired and it's not serving our community well. It's not serving our staff well. There are significant challenges with this building in terms of handicap accessibility, functional workspaces, environmental health of the building really is not good. You know, we are at a point in time where all of the contributing factors are coming together. We have been for a very long time managing our long-term debt obligations to create the revenue stream that will be required to pay the debt on this project. And we will be able to pay that debt without any increases in taxes and without any increases in utility rates. The rate of borrowing for this project will be at historically low rates.
The senior center, which is owned by the city, also has a deteriorating building. Mayor Aspacher elaborates on how the city will remember our past while simultaneously looking forward to the future.
That building initially served the community as a post office. It was built, again, I think in the early 1900s. So there's some really great work there in the front of that building. We felt it was really important to take a look at the front of the building from a historical preservation perspective. We felt like because of the historical presence of that building in our community and the historical relevance of the material, the craftsmanship involved in constructing it, we have a responsibility to very seriously consider those historical aspects, and that led us to the design concept of saving just that front portion of the building. There will also be a much better access plan for residents to access the various departments in the city operations. The plan is to have planning and zoning on the first floor, income tax, public utilities, all on the first floor of the building. Those are three of the primary departments in the city that serve our residents on a daily basis. It's really important, that we provide easy access to those departments so that people can get the work done that they need to have done.
The Wood County Committee on Aging is planning to vacate the old senior center building when their new facility opens in the spring of 2021. The current city administration building is located on 304 North Church Street, and the senior center is located on 305 North Main Street. Reporting for BG24 News, I'm Alex Holwerda.
One local gym reopened after closing due to COVID. Our Gabe Wagner has the story.
COVID-19 has proven to be a large barrier this year for businesses, forcing some to close their doors. A local business has recently opened their doors and is ready to tackle the challenges COVID-19 brings. Bowling Green Athletics is a newcomer to the gym scene right here in Bowling Green. Having only officially opened its doors in early October, Bowling Green Athletics provides fitness classes and a place to exercise to all their customers. Co-owner of the gym, Sam Beaver, explains his drive to start up the gym.
Knowing that I had a passion for helping people get healthier, not only physically, but mentally, emotionally as well, really drives me to wake up every morning, come here, and coach classes.
To fight the challenges of COVID, the gym has reduced class sizes to no more than 4 people and practices COVID-safe guidelines, including frequent sanitizing of the equipment. During quarantine, Beaver worked as a personal trainer, holding private classes outside at parks. When the opportunity presented itself, Beaver felt like it was the perfect moment to start the gym. Beaver says the gym has been doing great and credits it to the fire and drive of everyone involved in the process.
We're young, we have a young community of coaches and athletes in here, and they really bring a kind of like a fire to classes. I like getting energetic.
No matter the challenges COVID brings, Bowling Green Athletics aims to keep the citizens of BG healthy throughout. Reporting for BG24 News, I'm Gabe Wagner.
One of the businesses reopening is Stimmels Market in West Bowling Green. Our Courtney Brihan spoke to the owners to find out more.
A staple in the Bowling Green community is making its return. Stimmels Market was a victim of the coronavirus. Yes, was. With the help of 4 new business partners, the market is planning for a reopening in just a few short weeks after some remodeling.
So it's getting like a facelift of everything. Since it's been closed so long, everything's gonna go through. We're getting everything cleaned back up, all new product and that kind of thing.
Owner Mel Stimmel had to close the doors back in April. Stimmel bought the bakery back in 2004 and has been serving fresh goods ever since. One thing these partners want the community to know is the recipes are going to stay the same.
But right now we want to get back what everybody wants, and that's the donuts and the pies. So that's the important part. We get that going, and then we'll move on with something else.
Mel will still be running the deli portion of the store. The farmers market inside will offer fresh honey, jams, and other goods. Just 5 minutes north of downtown, the bakery is hoping for more community support.
Everybody's enjoyed these donuts for 30 plus years, so it was important to us that we made sure that this tradition continues on in Bowling Green.
With the BG24, I'm Courtney Brihan.
One restaurant downtown opened in January only to temporarily close because of the pandemic. Our Marianne Vanderbeke spoke to Sterling's Amish Deli about how they are weathering the storm.
If you're missing some of your favorite fair foods, are hungry for a piece of Amish pie, or miss the taste of a home-cooked meal, Sterling's Amish Deli on Woosters Avenue has something for you. This local deli is run by BGSU alumni Stephen Sterling and his wife Amanda. They opened in January and had just gotten off the ground before COVID-19 hit.
So we opened, we had no idea COVID was coming, obviously. We opened in January. Things were going good. The word was starting to get out that we were opening up, and the final day we had almost every seat in here filled, just with the excitement of being new. And it was the very next day where they said, okay, no more dine-in, this is getting serious now, and stuff is flying off the shelves in these grocery stores, and we had to shut down the lobby.
One of Sterling's original plans was to be a late-night alternative for students after a night out. COVID-19 restrictions have put a damper on those plans.
Late night, and what we found was, before COVID, students would go out to the bars, have some drinks, and then at closing time, they'd all be hungry. Well, now we're finding out is they go to their home parties, and then at closing time at 10 o'clock, they have after parties lined up. So they're not hungry at this point. They are more excited about going to their house parties, get-togethers, and they're kind of just skipping eating. And they're not eating until way late.
Sterling mentioned the valuable lessons he learned while in Gene Poor's entrepreneurship class, where Poor recommended avoiding the restaurant business. Sterling considers himself to be just enough of a rebel to make it work.
I would say, you're partially right. I can understand the struggles of a restaurant, and I don't think anybody's going to get rich off of this business. But look at me now. I wanted to say thank you for inspiring me and pushing me and giving me that little challenge to start this whole crazy idea.
One of the fair favorites they offer that I missed out on this year are their deep fried Oreos. I'm going to give their version a try and see if they compare to the fair version. They're warm, they're gooey, they're melty and delicious. I'm going to finish my Oreos. This is Marianne from downtown BG. Back to you.
The BG City Schools Board of Education voted to continue remote learning, but parents of the community want to go hybrid. Reporter Ryan Luchene updates us on the situation.
On October 8th, a couple weeks ago, the BG City School Board had a special Zoom meeting to decide the fates of in-person classes. With a close vote of 3-2 in favor of remote, classes in the Bowling Green School District were to stay online. With cases on the rise, with Ohio cases reaching 200,000, the board thought it was in the parents' overall best interest to stay online.
As I look at the national picture, what's happening right now, while things may be positive in Wood County, which is great, nationally, the numbers are going up significantly again.
Of course, not everyone is all right with keeping the kids from going back to school in a hybrid form.
This has been a 100% positive movement.
Jessica Swaysgood, a parent of 2 kids who go to school in Bowling Green, started the BG Voice group on Facebook for parents to voice their concerns about online learning and to bring a positive change in having their kids attend classes in person.
At the last meeting when they did their special vote, they said maybe they're hopeful for February. Well, that's not going to be okay.
The message is mostly in the direction of the kids, where not all students are used to being online.
Every day that they're waiting, our kids are lacking educational opportunities. And that's not okay with parents. That every day that they wait, it's not okay.
Also, according to Swaysgood, school hotspots are going down, and with occasional power outages, it can be an issue for online learners. Last week, board members and parents of students were able to meet to discuss the recent decision.
We know how challenging this is for families. Whether you're in favor of being virtual or not, it has caused many issues for families, and we're fully cognizant of that.
For BG24 News, this is Ryan Luchene.
Bowling Green football is celebrating over 100 years as a program. Alumni are working together to tell the team's history with a documentary. I spoke with officials working on the project to find out more. It was autumn of 1919. The Bowling Green Normal School is beginning its first season of football with 19 players. Games were held at the now-gone Ridge Street School with an admission price of 25 cents. 100 years later, Bowling Green State University's football program has been led by 20 different head coaches, including the revered names of Doit Perry, Urban Meyer, and Dino Babers. BGSU, over the course of 100 years, has also produced 27 All-Americans, over 60 NFL draft picks, and dozens of free agent signees. How is BGSU commemorating the rich 100-year history of Falcon football? Through the creation of a film set to be released by the end of the fall semester. Alex Solis, Deputy Chief of Staff and University Spokesman for the President of the University, provided additional insight into the excitement of BGSU Athletics' newest creation.
I know it's broad, but I think the main story is that we have rich history at BGSU with our football program, 100 years. You look at our national championship, you look at those who have come through the program as student athletes, our coaches from Urban Meyer to, Dino Babers, Don Nealon. So I think, it captures the spirit of our student athletes, our coaches, and our supporters of the program.
The timing of the release of the film could not be more ironic. In 1921, the first year of Bowling Green football in the Northwest Ohio League, no fans were on hand to watch due to a flu epidemic. Of course, today, the COVID-19 pandemic has put a wrench in the typical season for the program. However, the irony is being treated special.
So it kind of comes at an interesting year in 2020 with COVID-19, a global pandemic. Football season looks a lot differently, not only for Bowling Green, but across the nation. So this film kind of, bridges that and honors kind of our past 100 years.
Despite the pandemic, BG football continues to prepare to kick off the 2020-2021 season against Toledo on Wednesday, November 4th at the Glass Bowl. And that will do it for BG24 News. Be sure to check us out on Twitter at BG24TV and check out more of our content at bgfalconmedia.com. We'll see you next week.